Hi, welcome back to our discussion on T.S.Eliot's poem, The Wasteland. We have already done two sections. The first one, the burial of the dead, and the second one, a game of chess. Now I told you the difference between, see the use of articles there. First one is the burial of the dead. So that is the burial of the dead in the wasteland. You might find that title in the Anglican Book of Common Prayer, where they are saying a set of prayers before burying a dead body. But that is, according to me, I told you, that has nothing to do with a burial in the wasteland, because the burial there implies resurrection. The burial, inherent in the burial, there is a hope of resurrection. But here there is, as I told you earlier, even the fundamental right of a dead body is denied in the wasteland burial, because the dead body is not, the dead body doesn't get even a chance to decay. Understand that? Then coming back to the, so that is the burial of the dead. So the particular burial of the dead. We know the definite article is used for a particular, stressing a particular, isn't it? For example, you say once there was a king, the king was very kind. So that kind of stressing is there. Okay, then we come to the second one, that is a game of chess. Not the game of chess. Because all of us are playing games of chess. It is with, say, loss, delay, insolence of office, or like the Hamlet would say, isn't it? Or we can say the bleeding, fall upon the thorns of life and bleed, like as Shelley would say. Or we have got, every one of us has our own problems, and therefore we are always playing chess. So in this case I say a game of chess, that is, again you will find the title in Thomas Middleton's play, that's okay, but this is a game of chess played in the wasteland. So all women section, 5 women, you can see they play chess here, and all of them are checkmated. So this is the fate of not only females, but males also. See? Then we come to the third section, that is the fire sermon. I don't know whether you agree with me, but of course the text says like that. I can only say that. So when the text speaks, this is what I understand. What you understand, you can share with me. Okay, now the third one is the third section we are entering into is the fire sermon. Again, that article there, see, the fire sermon. That means the fire sermon, because many people have given sermons. Jesus Christ has given sermon. Sermon on the Mount, very famous. But here it is, he also in his sermons has advised us to be careful about, or try to avoid greed, try to avoid passions, try to avoid lust and all this thing. But here we say the fire sermon, and that is the fire sermon given by Lord Buddha to his disciples, how to get rid of this, the need to get rid of the fires of lust. Now, sometimes you may be thinking, what is this? This, some of you at least may know this. What is this? This is 2 examples of cubistic painting. Cubism. Cubism is a movement in painting introduced by Pablo Picasso. Now this is a very modern, it's a modernist movement in painting. What do they do? As you can see in these pictures, they are using what is called geometrical angles and lines. In one it is geometrical angles and lines you can see. You know, this is the title of this painting is that is nude descending a staircase. Nude descending a nude descending a staircase. You can see here the staircase you can see, isn't it? Staircase you can see, but the nude descending the staircase. Now you see all cubes, geometric angles and things like that. So when you look at it as such, sometimes we may think that we don't understand and think there's a lot of confusion. But you know all the rules of cubism and cubistic painting, and then look at it, you will find meaning there. Why did I bring this here? You know why? Because the method of construction of the T.S.Eliot's wasteland is very much similar to cubistic painting. Here is another one you can see. This comparative symbol. This is an example for analytic cubism, and this is an example for synthetic cubism. Synthetic cubism means already available pieces he put together into a collage. So that is what you find here. Some pieces here and there, and then put them into a collage. Now, whatever it is, that the structure of the poem, the method of constructing the poem, T.S.Eliot's Wasteland, is similar to this. Or actually, what happens is he was trying to introduce cubism in literature. That's why I happened to listen to a lecture by a very learned professor, and he said like this. He said, you break a window pane, you get pieces now, put them in a bag, a small bag, and then shake the bag and throw it down. Then that is wasteland. That means, what does that mean? It means there is no structure, there is no mother like this. It just gone like it is. Don't worry. I think you saw it, no? Yes. This is not fixed properly. That is okay. That is. I haven't used any glue here because I'm afraid sometimes the board may get it may lose its sheen. That's why I kept it like this, and that's why it is falling. Yes. Don't worry. London Bridge is falling down like that. This painting is falling down from the board, so don't worry about that. You understood this. What is cubistic painting? So, in Eliot's poem, actually he was trying to introduce these cubistic tendencies in literature. And you will see that, especially you will see that in the fire sermon. Understand? And another knowledge, another point that we should see is his own poetic technique. You know, one of his essays, 3 voices of poetry. He says poetry has 3 voices. The first voice is the poet speaking to himself. The second voice is the poet speaking to the audience. And the third voice is the poet creating characters through whom he speaks. So whatever happens, you will find the poet is the speaker. And here you should know, again I am depending on the text. See the last line. In the burial of the dead, you can see now, says, you hypocrite up to Mont Saint Blanc, Mont Ferret. So he says, Mont Saint Blanc, that is my double. So from there we understand that actually this poem is spoken by T.S.Eliot, the speaker is T.S.Eliot, and also the audience is T.S.Eliot. Understand that? And at times you can see he identifies himself with certain characters, Tiresias. In this case, in this section, you will find he identifies himself with Tiresias, the prophet, who suffered everything, enacted on the same divine orbit, was old, the old man with wrinkled female breast, who was blind but throbbing between 2 lives, who sat by Thebes below the walls, who walked among the lowest of the dead. See all those characteristics you can see. Now, directly you cannot say that this is T.S.Eliot, but actually this is, the text says, the context tells us that it is T.S.Eliot himself. So remember these 3 things to understand this poem. That's what I think. some other people also may be thinking like that, I don't know. One, and understanding of cubism is very much important for this. Second, how the technique, cubistic techniques used in literature. See, that's modernist tendencies. Secondly, you can see, as I told you, the three voices of poetry. All the three voices of poetry you will find in this poem. And the third one, I told you, already, as I said, this is the speaker and the audience is one and the same, that is T.S.Eliot. Now when you come back to this section, as I used to say, you can have a frame-wise analysis. Then you will see it's comparatively easy to understand the poem also, frame-wise analysis. The first, the burial of the dead, I have shown you that there are 11 frames. And in the second, a game of chess, you have got 5 frames. That means 11 plus 5, 16 frames already we have seen. So now we are entering into another, the fire sermon, Lord Buddha's fire sermon. The title is taken from Lord Buddha's fire sermon, and it's all about lust experience. Mainly lust, excessive desire. How to put down your excessive desire. See, purity of soul. That's why middle of the poem you will find now, when the Parsifal, the knight, trying to enter the Great Chapel. Before entering into the Great Chapel, he spent 20 years of penance, 20 years of mortification, 20 years of exercises in purifying himself. Only after that, he is allowed to enter the Great Chapel to ask the question, whom does the Grail serve? Only by asking that question, the question should be asked by a pure knight, and that is Parsifal. And he, to purify himself, it took 20 years, not 1 or 2 years of hardship that he went through. So after this, he goes there, and you can see singing of the children in the dome of the chapel. When he is washing his feet, just before entering the chapel, Great Chapel, and ask this question that will cure and heal the fisher king of his wound and his weak situation, infirmity. The infirmity of the fisher king can only be cured by a pure knight who should enter the Great Chapel and ask questions, whom does the Grail serve? And he can also drink from the Grail cup, the chalice. Understand? So by this is the way to cure or heal the fisher king. So there also what you find is purity. As you find only such persons can save this land, this wasteland, again make it a fertile land. If all the people are like Parsifal or Percival, two or three different spellings are there, and if we all become like that, that is the solution. So then what will happen? We can save this world. The world has become a wasteland at a macro level, you can say, and so that is the symbolism there. So there, coming back to this, you can see how many. You saw that. Therefore, I don't think I have to pick it up again and paste it on the board. If you allow me, I will do that once again. Okay, I show you. See, this is that picture or that cubistic painting. See, that is the staircase here, etc. You can see. Now, once again, does it interrupt you? No. Okay, there you are. Now we come to this section. You will find there are 20 plus frames here. 20 plus frames. I am not saying the number of the frames. I am not fixing, because the reason is that as we proceed, you will find there will be 20 or 21 or 22. It depends on our understanding of it. And if both discussing, changes can take place. That's it. Now, The first frame, what you find is there is, what you find here is, now I think I can remove this because I have to use this board for writing also. So that is, now the first frame you find, that is the landscape, the river Thames and the banks of the river Thames and the landscape. Remember when I told you about the title of this poem? I said it is a physical reality. It's always symbolic but physical reality. And the physical reality is here, that is river Thames and its surrounding places. And the poet begins like this: the river's tent is broken. The fingers of the last leaf clutch and sing into the wet bank. The wind crosses the brown land unheard. When unheard, there's nobody to hear. So you find a picture of sterility. Once upon a time, there were trees, flourishing trees, with leaves, interlacing branches, forming a tent, fertility, sign of fertility. And there are many people used to gather there for summer festivals, summer celebrations, nuptials. For example, you remember the next line, sweet Thames run softly till I end my song, is taken from Bartholomew, written by Spencer, Edmund Spencer. And from there you can see that is the background of the celebration of a nuptial. The wedding of Elizabeth and Catherine Somerset, Earl of Worcester. So that the place was used for, frequented by aristocratic people, nobility, for their celebrations, summer nights. And again you will find Elizabeth and Leicester beating oars, etc. So that is royal romance, just a place of royal romance. But what is the present situation? The present situation is the river's tent is broken, withered trees, trees without any leaves and flowers. The river's tent is broken. The fingers of the last leaf clutch and sing into the wet bank. Clutch and sing. Clutch means unwilling to sink, but there's no other way out because it has been withered. Yes. The sedges withered from the lake and no birds sing. Label James and Smith. So that is the situation. And there is nobody here, the blowing of the wind. That is, the wind crosses the brown land. Brown means no vegetation. All the vegetation disappeared. No greenery. Once upon a time there were meadows and there were flowers and gardens and steaming with life of birds singing. Now there is no such thing. So the brown land was unheard. Nobody is there to hear. Nobody is here to enjoy this. Then comes like a chorus. Sweet Thames run softly till I end my song. Memory. Memory of those good old days when nobility nobility used to come here. When summer nights used to be celebrated. So that is memory. That would be another frame. So but this continues. Let's say it's not just over, but see, the river's tent is broken. Fingers of the last leaf clutch and sing into the wet bank. The wind crosses the brown land unheard. Sweet Thames run. The river bears no empty bottles, sandwich papers, silk handkerchiefs, cardboard boxes, cigarette ends, or other testimony of summer nights. The nymphs are departed, and these nymphs are the modern nymphs, maybe the call girls. These nymphs are departed, and their friends, the loitering agents of city directors, departed have left no addresses. That is all commercialized. Maybe call girls, come there, then these people, and after there is a kind of dancing and chit-chatting, dating and so on, they depart. They are not concerned about what? Out of sight, out of mind. That's the situation. Stability. Understand that? So we have got, right from the beginning, if you say, the river's tent is broken, the fingers of the last leaf clutch and sing into the wet bank. The wind crosses the brown land unheard, sweet Thames and softly till I end my song memory. Then the river bears no testimony of summer nights. There were no empty bottles, sandwich paper, silk handkerchief. Then cardboard boxes, cigarette ends. The names are departed, and their friends, the loitering agents of city directors departed, have left no addresses. And then comes the lament by the waters sublime, and I sat down and wept. By the waters sublime, and I sat down and wept. So you have got three images there, like three cubes, you can say, in the cubistic style of painting. What are the three images? One, Eliot's own personal grief. He was recovering his convalescent period after an illness that was by the side of on the shores of the Lake Leman or Lake Geneva. The other image is that of Israelites in Babylon. They are lamenting. Psalm 137. How can I sing of Zion in a foreign land? By the waters of Leman I sat down. Babylonian cry. And the third one is the fisher king himself. The fisher king's cry. See? So there are three images you can see, one upon the other. See that? That is how it has been constructed, the single line. And then continues. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Sweet Thames, run softly, for I speak not loud or long. But at my back I hear, in a cold blast I hear, the rattle of the bones and the chuckle spread from ear to ear. Chuckle, the laughing of a ghost. How you have the laughing, how ghosts laugh. I haven't heard. But some people say it is like like that. This is not laughing. That is how they laugh. I don't know. Whether you have any experience, you can share with me. It is like that people say. So again, what happens is that filthy atmosphere. And that filthy atmosphere is again strengthened by, we can say, the next two lines. That is, a rat crept slowly through the vegetation, dragging a slimy belly on the bank. So, a place which was once upon a time frequently visited by noble people, aristocratic people, royal romance, royal weddings, royal nuptials, some celebration of summer nights. Now what has it become? The hero in the present wasteland of these banks, of both the banks of the river, is the rat. The rat is the main actor here. It is frequented by rats. You can see how dirty and filthy is the situation. The wasteland, a physical reality after the First World War. Yes, that is what you see here. I hope you are following me. So there you are, the rat. The rat says, but at my back in a cold blast I hear the rattle of the bones. Dead bodies strewn here and there, helter-skelter thrown. Their bones are there. Then rattled by the rats foot only. Humans, they don't go there. Rats foot only. And then a rat crept slowly through the village. Slimy belly through the wet bank. While I was fishing in the dull canal again. That is, again one more image of sterility. There's no life in the water. Once upon a time it was the lifeline of London, elixir. You could go and take straight water straight from the river and drink, but now it is a dull canal. Because soon you will see why do we say that it is a dull canal. So while I was fishing in the dull canal on a winter evening round behind the gas house, musing over the King Mike Brothers wreck and the King Mike Brothers death before him. So what is he musing over? What comes to his mind is the wreck and the death. Again, pictures, images of sterility, death, destruction, decay, degeneration and withering away. That's what you see. Got the point? Yes. And continuing, we will say, white, bodies naked, low on the damp ground, and bones cast in a little low dry garret, rattled by the rat's foot only, second time, rat's foot only, rattled by the rat's foot only. But from time to time I hear the sound of horns. Before entering to that area, we will go down somewhere there where the river sweats oil and tar. This should be taken to that place. From there you have to move there, because the point here is the focus is on the river. The focus is on the degeneration that has taken place to Thames River and its surroundings. So the river sweats oil and tar. The barges dripped with the turning tide. There is no control for the turning tide. The barges drift with the red sails wide to leeward swing on the heavy spar. The barges drift. The barges wash the drifting wood down Greenwich Reach past the Isle of Dogs. So up to that is the filth, the filthy area. You get a close-up view of the filth of the river Thames, its water and its surroundings dominated by the rats and bones and chuckling ghosts, isn't it? Death, decay, wreck. These are the things you see on the banks and in the river. In between you get that refrain, sweet Thames run softly till I get my Methodist memory for this past glory, inescapable splendor, inexplicable splendor of Ionian white and gold. Yes, you can find heroes. You could find it heroes. Years ago you could find inexplicable splendor of the river. But where is it now? What is the present situation? Up to that you can see a frame, larger frame, but within this larger frame you have got smaller frames. Frames, like when we speak of Boccaccio, we say, no? Story within a story. So like this you have got. Now you can see the first frame, and then of course it is followed by the lamentation by the Thames daughters. That is, Viyala la liya, Walla la liya la. Viyala la liya, Walla la liya la. So that is the first lament. Isn't it? That is similar to the Rhine daughters laments in Richard Wagner's opera. So it is connected to that. Loss of gold. The Rhine daughters, they are lamenting the loss of gold. With the loss of gold, the shine and the sheen of the river also lost. So to hear the shine and the sheen of river Thames lost, and so the river maidens, the nymphs, they are lamenting. That is Veyala. But there is no word for that. When you are crying, you have a great grief. You don't speak, but the emotion bursts out in some sounds. It is like that. So up to this we can say it is one frame. Starting with first frame is, what is the first frame I told you? That is the degeneration that has taken place to degeneration taken place in the river, in the Thames River and its banks. So that is what we saw. Then within that you find, by the waters of Leman I sat down and wept. So that is another frame. You can say that the waters of Leman. Waters of Leman. That is a Lake Geneva. So Geneva, Lake Geneva, or the place where he was sitting and recovering. That's one thing about himself. Secondly, the Babylonian cry, and thirdly, the fisher. Understand? Now the third frame here we find is, what is the third frame? The fisher king fishing. The fisher king fishing. So there, what you get is the importance of that myth. That is a reference to the myth. The fisher king fishing. Fish is a symbol of life. Fish is a symbol of life spirit, life force, as Bernard Shaw would say, but life force. It is a symbol of life force. That is the phrase used by Bernard Shaw, as in his place, life force. Now you can see, if you have visited Christian churches, in some Christian churches you will find, just in front of the altar, you will find the image of a very vigorous fish. A very vigorous fish, comparatively big and very vigorous, looking very vigorous, see, with the sparkling eye and so on. So, fish is a symbol of Jesus Christ. That's it. So, what is the story of Jesus Christ? What is his mission? You remember. Came here, suffered for humans, vicarious suffering. He was suffering not for his sins, but the sins of all mankind. And then he took all this burden and all the burden, and his mission was this. Took upon himself all the sins of mankind and redeemed the mankind by sacrificing himself. It was vicarious sacrifice for other people, not for him. He made kurbani. Kurbani means sacrifice, isn't it? So you did it. So in the same way, the suggestion here is, the fisher king is fishing to get back his life, his vitality. His vitality is lost because he is maimed, especially as we find in books, he's maimed with genitals. So he cannot do anything. He has become sterile. So he has to get back his life, get back his vitality. He has to cure himself, heal his wounds. How can you do that? By fish, by catching a fish, not the fish that is not the thing, but that is a symbol of Jesus Christ, as I said. So fish is a symbol of life and vitality, revival and regeneration. You can see in some churches you will find there is a very vigorous, stout fish with sparkling eyes. Its image, not a painting, but its image is there. You can see that. Understand that? Like a relief work. Relief work, what is a relief work means? Something that is protruding from the wall. That is a relief work. Now the second section is Other withered stumps of time were, you could see, staring forms, staring, leaned out, leaning like that, leaned out, hushing the room and closed. So like that, relief form. Some churches you will find from the wall is half. The wall is there and then half of that statue will be protruding like this. That's called relief work. Relief work. So here, there is, I told you in altars you will find in the form of relief work you will find the fish. So it is so fishing. While I was fishing, I myself am trying whether I can do something. So it's a very hard-working and sincere fisher king here. Fisher king of the myths. Yes. So here you can find the fisher king fishing. It has a meaning. It has the meaning that has bearing on the entire poem. What is all the poem about? That is, the fisher king has become, he has lost his vitality. He has become sterile. So it has to, somebody has to do a penance for that, and that is, we have already seen Parsifal going to the Grail chapel and asking this question, whom does the Grail serve? Answer, if you get the answer, it's okay, but it is said that he should be a fool also. This knight should be a fool. And if you see the meaning of Parsifal, that is Parsifal, that is for Parsi. That is the Persian name, for Parsi. Parsifal, for Parsi. And for Parsi means pure fool. 100% fool. Or innocent fool, we can say. Fools are innocent. So the myth, according to the myth, a foolish person should go there. He should be pure, he should be innocent, at the same time foolish. Why? Because he should go on asking questions. Not one or two questions, not be satisfied with one or two, but go on asking questions. Only such a knight can bring back life and vitality to the wasteland. So that is Parsifal. So the name itself it means for Parsi, means for fool, innocent fool. That's innocent fool. See that? So fishing, fisher king fishing, that is trying to recover himself, trying to get back his vitality, but he can't. Why? Because already his mind is burdened with what? The wreck of my brother. And the fisher king's name in myths is Amphotas. I don't know whether you know this or not. Amphotas. Some spelling is A-M. You will also find N, Amphotas. Amphotas. That is the name of the fisher king. He had brothers. And he had a father. Sometimes, I have heard some people saying like this, wreck. And he said the wreck, brothers wreck. So some people go back to think of, they have a tendency to think that it is the wreck of Prospero, in the shipwreck of Prospero in the Tempest. Well, if you can connect it like that, I don't mind, because it's again, as I told you, the technique is this. This is the technique. If we can read it like this, okay. But the text doesn't say. In no other place, the text is referring to the Tempest. Look, these are pearls that were his eyes. Madam Sossos, this fake fraud. She says now, look, those are pearls that were his eyes. That I think is Ariel song. You will find that the Ariel song, you can connect it like that, but it means something else. So those days, those good old days, when the death by water, then the dead body in water gets transformed into something new, something wonderful, but not in the wasteland. That, I think that is what the text says. Now, Often I say, no, please don't think that what I am saying is 10 commandments. No, not at all. There is, you can have your own, but only point I want to make is, you can interpret the poem in your own way, but that has to be supported by text. What the text says, can you give the testimony from the text itself? Not much testimony we accept from critics, because there is already an industry called Eliot criticism. You cannot, you can go through that summaries, and some books are to be tasted, as Bacon says. Yes, we can do it. We don't mind. I won't stand in any way as an obstruction to this, but inquiry is free, knowledge is free, and therefore we can all. If you have any point like that, supporting, please bring it in the class. That's all what I say. Okay, then you have got the first is the degeneration. The reverse trend is broken, etc., etc. And then you have got this fisher king fishing. See, and also you find the sordid atmosphere. The most sordid situation starts with the river sweats oil and tar. The river sweats oil and tar. More than that, what do you want? See, that is contrasted with the sweet Thames runs softly over this memory. So that is the fourth phrase. Sweet Thames, memory of those days when Thames River and its surroundings were frequented by kings, queens, princesses, and their celebrations, summer nights, summer celebrations. When you would see now you would say that it was polluted by those people, but there is positive pollution. You find some remnants of their celebration, like the empty bottles, cardboard boxes, and all those things. But now there is nothing of the limbs are departed. Their friends, the loitering agents of city directors departed. I have got no addresses, out of sight, out of mind. Commercial relationship, that's all. That was not the case in those days. Human relations also have undergone degeneration. That's degeneration and decay. So, such a murky picture, a dark picture, a miry and murky picture. That's what you find painted in these sections. Between this, you have got other things like this fisher king, amphoras, and all those things. And then S6, what is it? Yes. So then what fisher king fishing, etc. And then you have got the fourth one is the laments. The laments by the nymphs, Thames nymphs. Thames maidens, lamenting, like the Rhine maidens in Richard Wagner's opera. See? So that is the fifth phrase. So you can see this now. When you find that when you shifted from the first part to almost to the end, where the river sweats, etc., there is a connection. So it is not just broken pieces of glass here and there you find it on the floor. No. There is a deliberate attempt, so to say, to, in a joke, not a joke, but actually, to confuse the reader. Is there any such intention on the part of T.S.Eliot? I don't know. So sometimes you may sometimes you may think like that, but it is not so. It is structured in such a way you cannot even remove a single word from it. And now after this 5 frames, then follows 5 frames more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All frames of perverted sexual desire. Perverted expressions of sex. Isn't it? That is, you have got 5, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 perverted expressions of lust. But before that, we must, after coming to this fourth frame, we should also see inexplicable splendor of Thames described in these lines. Immediately after this lament, first lament. The first lament is about the present situation. Then you have got one more. What is that? Elizabeth and Leicester beating oars, the stern was formed, a gilded shell, red and gold, the brisk swell rippled both shores, southwest wind carried downstream, the peal of bells, like a festival, the peal of the white towers. So that is a memory of the royal romance, Elizabeth and Leicester. Once upon a time, I don't know whether it is historically true or not, there was such a suggestion that Queen Elizabeth, who remained a virgin queen throughout her life, for reasons unknown to us, so that is a personal thing, there was a move for a royal marriage between Queen Elizabeth and Earl of Leicester. Maybe a prelude to that. To a prelude to that, maybe you find this royal romance on the River Thames. It's those days, say 1590s. So that time, yes, that time of the year, yes, when royals used to come there. So after this, that is the inexplicable splendor of Thames River and its surroundings banks. See how beautifully those lines have been framed. It is like a painting, a landscape painting, you can see. Elizabeth and Leicester beating oars. The stern was formed a gilded shell, red and gold. The brisk swell, compared to dull canal where the fisher king is fishing, the brisk swell, smart, rippled both the stores. You find the life, vitality, and spirit, right? Rippled both the stores. And then southwest wind carried downstream. Favorable winds, southwest wind, very favorable wind carried downstream. Then the peal of bells in the towers nearby, and the white towers. That is all royal romance, royal colors, red and gold, royal colors. So that is there you get a splash of royalty, image of royalty. So that is the fifth frame. That is royal romance. Royal romance and those bygone glorious days. That is inexplicable splendor of Thames River and its banks. Inexplicable splendor of Thames River and her banks. Understand? Now that is contrasted with the oil and tar. This is another technique, that poetic technique that throughout the poem Eliot uses. Juxtaposition, contrast, irony, sometimes it's the crashing irony, you can say. As you will find, but at my back from time to time I hear the sound of horns and motors, which shall bring Sweeney the Mrs. Potter in the spring. Oh, the moon shone bright on Mrs. Potter and her daughter to wash their feet in soda water. So that is, you can say, the sixth frame. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can say 10. See that? So Thames and this rivers and royal romance. Here, of course, you can also say one more frame you can add. that is sweet Thames. Now, after this inexplicable splendor, again the line maidens, the laments. That lament is for the lost glory. The first lament, Veyyalala Layya, Vallala Layya, is the present situation. Now the next same lament, that lament is for the lost glory, something that is lost. The inexplicable splendor is lost. Therefore, for that they are lamenting. So that is another lament, sixth, we can say, 62nd lament. Second lament, and there is in between there is a seventh one. What is that? Sweet Thames run softly. Sweet Thames run softly. That is nostalgia. Yes, the pain, the throbbing pain in the minds of people. Sweet Thames run softly. So that is the seventh refrain. Sweet Thames. See, sweet Thames. Now it has got the two sides, you can see, like a cube, cubistic. Yes, like a cube you can see. What is it? One is the nostalgia, and then the other is recalling the glory of those days, and plus the dirt and the filth, the river sweats, oil and tar. So this emotions you'll find. You will find these emotions intermingling, because